It's a very warm and humid August evening, and this is part of my evening ritual. About a dozen times during the day and in the evening, and that is to come to the garden, check the valerian to see whether we have a visitor. And that visitor is from the Mediterranean originally, but after a number of these Mediterranean visitors hit our shores earlier in the year, nearly 20 were recorded in this garden. I'm talking about hummingbird hawk-moths, and I grow a lot of valerian in the garden purposely to attract hummingbird hawk-moths in. In the course of an evening, I'll come out at every opportunity to check, but the resulting second brood of the year's earlier migrants is now just appearing on the wing, and one individual has been recorded in the garden for the last 3 days. It appears quite early in the morning, around about 7:30, feeds up for 10-15 minutes, will come again sort of mid-morning, and then sometime during mid-afternoon, then early evening it will have another feed, which it did, and I expect it to have another feed, a final feed of the day, sometimes between 7:45 and 8:15 p.m. It's just a case of waiting for it to turn up. Well, it would be normally, because I know exactly where it is. It's there. I can't get you much closer. That's 4 inches away from the camera contained within the phone. If you want to get any nearer, I suggest you get a microscope. What a privilege. You can see with these, they're all head, as are a lot of the long distance migratory hawk moths. They're pretty much all just powerhouses of muscle, but the head in proportion to the rest of the body is really large, and the thorax obviously is large because it has to house those powerful muscles. But it is a very attractively marked moth anyway. You'll rarely get the opportunity to see a hummingbird hawk-moth like this, but this is the third individual over the years that has roosted under this ledge on the old outhouse wall. Usually they'll roost higher up on houses, often in a chink in the brickwork or at the junction of a couple of bricks. And quite often they're not as confiding as this individual is. They can be a bit more flighty. But what a fabulous thing, and a fabulous opportunity to see one close at hand. When I did a video about what nectar plants you can use in the garden to attract insects, the kind of night I have tonight is just the occasion I was thinking of when I mentioned hummingbird hawk-moths. I just love hummingbird hawk-moths, and hence that's why if you plant valerian, you will inevitably get hummingbird hawk-moths. Never in big numbers. Even if you get one in a year, it's something. Thankfully, the one sat third brick along at the top, just under that ledge, is the 20th or 21st individual already this year, and it's the first one of this second brood. The good thing about Hummingbird Hawk-moths on the second brood is that they're a bit more sort of laid back than the spring lot. Those in spring are almost on acid, everything's in a rush for them. This one's far more laid back, and they tend to stay for several days at a site. This one, say, as I mentioned, is its third day, and I expect that it will be here for much of tomorrow. Look, when you get to this second brood, they fly slower, they're less inclined to dart off, never to be seen again. They're quite, well, as Hummingbird Hawk-moths go, quite lethargic, which is still quite fast in terms of hawk-moths, but they're not the manic individuals of the spring brood. We've got about a quarter of an hour to go yet before that one descends off the wall for its evening feed or supper. I wouldn't be surprised to see two, but it's nice to have the one. It's just finding something to do while we're waiting for that one to come down. I'll have to think on that one. Quite a lot of thinking.